Okay, so I decided I'm going to do sort of a video series because I've been reading a lot, and I'm going to do 5 books that are all kind of similar in each video. So this first one is all fantasy books, and a lot of them are series. So I'll do multiple books, multiple series, but count them all as one book. So I'm only going to do 5, but a few of them are actual whole like sequels and series of books. So the first one I want to talk about is Babel, which is actually a one and done. So just so you know, it's not that long. It was okay. It wasn't amazing. I wouldn't actually recommend it to anybody unless they were really into languages or university. It's one of these books where they go to like a magical school and do magical things. So the idea is that by inscribing words on like silver, it gives things power to do automation, stuff like that, essentially. So everybody goes to this university where they learn how to do this, and to get in, you need to be really good at a bunch of languages. So it's sort of interesting. It's sort of like a commentary on class structure a little bit, which brings me to my second book, which is called The Will of Many, which is actually a series, but they've only released the first book, and this is another commentary on class structure. The idea of this book is that people give up part of their will to the class above them, and that person gives up their will. So each class of person like higher in this tier system has more and more willpower, which is essentially gives them almost magical abilities. Like they're faster, they're stronger, they can do all sorts of crazy stuff. This book, it had the makings of a good book. It was a cool idea. It was an interesting world, but the protagonist, V or something, I think his name was, or Vi, depending on how you pronounce it, he bugged me. His superpower was rage, and he was way too good at everything. So that kind of bugged me. But beyond that, it was an okay book. It was kind of long. It was over 1,000 pages, but it was okay. It was probably better than Babel. And I read it really fast. I read it in like 3 days or something like that. But yeah, it was okay. Next one, which is I'm sort of going in order of which ones were my favorite, in reverse order. So the next one was the Empyrean. I think is how you pronounce that. It's a Fourth Wing, Onyx Storm, and what was the last one called? Give me a second. Uh, and Iron Flame. So this is a trilogy, or it's more than a trilogy. I think there's going to be 5 books in total. But this is another one, which is a university setting. It's about essentially riding dragons, and it's written from a female perspective, which is sort of unique among these books. And it was pretty good. Like I actually enjoyed this quite a bit. It is extremely graphic with some of the sex stuff, which I was not really ready for because I was sort of expecting it's like a young adult book sort of thing, like it's fantasy, but it's pretty graphic, and the pacing's amazing. Like every chapter something happens. It's really good. So that one was exciting, and the author is writing them really fast. Like she's just pumping these things out. So that's kind of cool. But they've only released 3 out of the 5, so if you want to read the whole thing, that one's not the best. Really, the only one of these series you can read the whole thing all at once is Babel. The rest, they're still in production. The next one is Stormlight Archives, which they just released. I guess it's the 5th installment, but I guess in reality it's either the 7th or 8th in total, because there's some novellas which are awful. Don't read the novellas; they're just garbage. But the actual core books are pretty good. It has the most interesting world building, and it's the only one that's not based in some sort of university or high school type setting, which I like. I'm sick of reading books. Like Harry Potter was enough for school. I don't want to read every book these kids going to school. So it's pretty good. The only thing I didn't like about it was that each chapter is a different character. So you just get into a character, and then you gotta wait like 5, 6 chapters to get back to that character. So the last one that came out was I think it's called The Way of the Wind, and it's the last book for a while. He's Brandon Sanderson, the author, is taking a sort of like a sabbatical to collect his thoughts and then write the next 5 books. So it's gonna be a 10-book series, which is really good, really long, and each book is long. Like it's over 1,000 pages again. And each book's good. Like there really is no misses in that collection of books. Um, so I like that one quite a bit, and the world building is fascinating. Like the actual world is so cool. Like there's a storm that's constantly blowing across the world, and all the plant life and animals have all adapted to live through the storm. And the storm is crazy. It's like class 10 hurricane. It's just insane, and it releases some form of light which they draw energy from. It's pretty cool. It's actually it's really neat. And there's these things called Sven or Spen, which are like little spirits for all sorts of things like the wind, fire, anxiety, like emotions and elements and stuff like that. All have these little spirits that you can see. Uh, so it's pretty cool. I like that book quite a bit. And then the one I actually liked the most was King Killer Chronicles, which I had low expectations for just because of the name. Like I was like, that's pretty cardboard, cookie cutter. Like anybody come up with that. But I liked the writing style. It was really fluid, really easy to read, and it just made sense. Like there was nothing in it where I was like, oh yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why did you do that? Why that happen? It was good. There's only 2 books released, like 2 books in the main thing, and then I think there's actually 3 novellas. There's 2 which are the same thing, one just rewrite of the same thing with more detail. The novellas are actually okay, which is refreshing because most of these novellas are pretty terrible, but the novels themselves are great, and I'm pretty sure he's writing, I think it's 3 in total, so there's only 1 left to write, so that's not too bad. Um, yeah, that one's pretty exciting. So those are my 3 choices. The best one is definitely, or my personal opinion is the King Killer Chronicles. I like both books quite a bit. The only thing I didn't like about it was that it's another one of those ones where it's just set in like a university type setting, which is not great. Um, if you want to get away from the university, I recommend the Stormlight Archives. But these are the 5 series I read this year, fantasy. I don't normally read that much fantasy, but a lot of my friends recommend fantasy because they're super into it, so I give it a read. And yeah, these are the ones that stuck out to me. Hope you enjoy.